What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Hook One Pod. Hey, we had a little break. We are back. We're obviously not in the studio. We're with our friends down in Howell at the new Wonderland Marine West. We've got a brand new showroom. This is where the Skeeter came from. We're going to sit down with the guys at Wonderland. We're going to talk a lot about the boat business, talk about shows, talk about pricing, talk about how you guys can save money. And I don't know, maybe crack open some Pilar rum and have a real good conversation. Let's head on inside and get the conversation started. What's up, guys? As I said, we are here in the Wonderland. We're in their brand new showroom. We're with the men, Kev, AJ. What's up, gentlemen?
Not a whole lot.
Just another day in the office.
You like the new showroom?
Absolutely love it.
So throughout the recording, you guys will obviously you'll be seeing clips of the new showroom. It's a brand. How big is this place? I said when I walked in, it looks a lot smaller when it's full of boats.
Yeah.
And there's a ton of boats in here, so we're gonna dive heavy into a lot of that stuff. But as you guys know, I'm in the Skeeter 2060. This is where I picked up my Skeeter. I worked closely with these guys at Wonderland. Did a few boat shows with them. I was on vacation this year during the season, so that's a sore subject. They were working away, but it is what it is. But aside from Skeeter, what other brands are in this building?
We got the Yamaha jet boats, Yamaha Wave Runner, Avalon pontoon, G3, Suncatcher pontoon, and Stingray boat.
And how long have you guys been in the boating business itself?
Well, this company's existed since 1983. AJ's father and grandfather were involved even long before that with the original Wonderland that was in the Livonia Mall.
Okay. So it's been a while. And how long have you been doing this now?
9 years in sales.
Kind of grew up in it? There you go.
In the summertime when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So they can clean the bathroom.
Yeah. Picked up from school and went up here going to hockey practice.
Yeah, no doubt. Well, this is a much better gig now, doing all this. And it's been really interesting for me being in like the bait and tackle side of the business and then kind of jumping into this. Now, when we dive more into this, you guys are going to realize that it's so much more than fishing boats, and especially out here. You guys are located. This facility here is in Howell. There's 3 different locations. Waterford and Pinckney are the other 2. But it is an extremely large boating community out here, which I think would be surprising, like for our people back home, because it's not the Great Lakes, right? So, like, what makes it so special out here?
All the lakes. I mean, there's hundreds of small lakes.
Every mile down the road, there's another puddle there, whether it's 360 acres, 100 acres, or 600 acres.
Yeah. And then you obviously still get all the traffic from the Great Lakes. So all your bigger boats with your bigger motors still sell. That was something funny. Like for me, my first show with you guys was like, you know, guys talking about pontoons. Well, I don't want a 20 horse. I want a 200. And I'm like, well, the guys in Howell or Waterford, they're not using 200s, right? So you kind of got to cater to everybody.
Yeah.
But hey, before we really, really jump into the meat of this podcast, guys, obviously I got to thank everybody that kind of makes it possible for us. Whitewater Fish, we've got Cortland Line, we've got Great Lakes Anglers Company, and of course our favorites, which you'll be see us sipping on today. We've got our folks from Pilar Rum with us. This was not a full bottle before we started. I promise. But I'll grab mine. Cheers, gentlemen, to another podcast. We are back. You guys, I apologize for not being around. Baby's been sick. Pete's been sick. We were going to do a recording in Florida. I lost all that footage. I'm obviously still not up to date with. Yeah, it kind of stunk, dude. You take an hour and a half out of vacation, and then you get home, and all the footage is gone. So I reached out to our software company. The problem is the quality that I was able to save wasn't very good. So we are back. We're excited. I really wanted to kick it off. We told you guys we'd have new guests. We told you guys we'd have new locations. I get to get out of the studio a little bit into this. Look at this. It looks like a professional backdrop here. So let's just start with the business and what you guys really specialize in. I already know the answer to this, but what is like your most popular boat that you guys sell out of here, would you say?
Yamaha.
The Yamaha jets.
Yeah,
for sure.
And you're a wizard behind the stick of a Yamaha jet. I figured out at the boat show last year there. And is that why a lot of people really like those boats? Is the ease of handling on them, you think? Or do you think it's a lot of
Not
factors?
necessarily.
It's
There's
just
a lot
kind of the all around package that you're getting. Once you learn how to drive them, they're so much easier to drive than an outboard or an IO or anything like that.
Yeah.
Especially when you've got twin engines.
of getting
so,
used to steering and everything. But once you get the hang of it, hold that boat, absolutely. And then price point of things is so for their 25-foot boat, you're under $100,000 and $100,000. Any other 25-foot boat out there with lesser horsepower is going to be north of $100,000.
100,
So
yeah,
it forces you,
100%.
even if you're not interested in a Yamaha, you got to look at it.
Yeah,
You know,
100%.
less.
And especially with the way that this industry is going, I mean, we've seen huge jumps. We're sitting right now in one of the brand new Skeeter WXRs, and this is the 2060. So you guys might see this one be the new Hook 1 sled. But this boat here even has made such a jump in price, and you're noticing it everywhere because, we talked about it in the tackle industry when it comes to baits, how, it's not only the bait itself went up, but the labor went up, and the split rings went up, and the hooks went up. Well, it's no different with a boat. Right? The fiberglass went up, the radios went up, the compartments went up, the steel to put in here went up. The engines is a big thing. I don't think a lot of people realize, but the motors you're putting in these boats skyrocketed. So price point boats are really good. Are your lakes shallow out here? Because these can't draft a ton of water.
I live across the street here on Lake Schmont. When I first bought my house, very end of my dock, I got about a 8-foot dock. At the very end, it's still almost water. And first year I bought my house, I used 4-winch at 19-footer IO in stock over there, and I bought it out. My dock, I could barely get it there. Almost had to get out of the boat, push it up the dock.
Jeez.
I can fit a 27-foot Yamaha at my dock, no problem.
A 27-footer. See, and that's something. You guys were up here with Dallas. Dallas is behind the camera. Shout out Dallas. But you guys came up to the store last fall, and that was something I kind of explained about the Yamaha boats. That, I mean, you see it. You bass fish a lot, and you're out on St. Clair. But like right now, we've got extremely low water levels, and it seems like they're continuing to fall. I figure like those would be a money boat as far as like a family boat goes. They do make a Yamaha fish and ski. Obviously, it works for a lot. Like if you're going to specialize in fishing, then you might want to look at something like this or like a G3. But it does get the job done. But as far as like a family boat that's going to stay shallow, yeah, man. And you can get into Muscatine Bay. You can get into, if you're going into Fisher Bay or wherever you're going on Lake St. Clair, that's super shallow right now. I mean, I wouldn't take my boat in there. You might squeeze in there in the bass boat.
Yeah.
So what's your bass boat? The 21. Yeah, so you'd probably squeeze right in there. But it's definitely a really nice boat. And then you've got all the pontoons that carry all your outboard options. And there is a lot of them. The new showroom, I really like the dock setup. So, these guys will get to, it's hard to kind of imagine it right now, but these guys will get to see it as I walk down the aisle. You guys will see kind of how the dock setup is, and you can walk in and out of all these boats. The overwhelming thing for me, especially that first show I did with you guys, was like, there are so many different attributes to every single, like, if a customer comes up and they want something, odds are you've got it. You just got to find it. Because how customizable, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But you can customize these pontoons to an unlimited, you know what I mean?
Yeah, pretty much.
It's unbelievable.
Pick your different vinyls that you want, your color, flooring, everything.
All the way up.
Yeah. I remember seeing there, we had one of them at the show that had the twins on it, and I was like, oh. And they fly now, man. Like the construction and the way they build these things is super nice. And that's one thing I hear about guys all the time. They're like, man, the price on these pontoons has gone way up. It's like, look at them. They're like Cadillacs out there on the wall. You know what I mean? It's like, especially the tri-tunes, like this one we're looking at right now is like, dude, this thing is like a Cadillac. Yeah.
It's got twin 12-inch touchscreens in the dash.
I know, dude. It's incredible. It's got, that's what I was going to say. It's funny because when you look at it, it kind of looks like one of those like high-end like bass boats or even like these Skeeters here. It's got the big touch screens in it. Yep. And they're super nice. But you've got all this stuff here in the showroom. You guys are in the thick of it right now in boat show season, right? We've got a couple that have passed. We got a couple more coming up. There's one coming up in 2 weeks. Yep. March 13th through the 16th at Novi is the Novi Boat Show. So if you are looking, this is the place. And we'll dive a little bit into savings and all that sort of fun stuff because I know our viewers like to hear that kind of stuff. But for me, we always do an episode every year specifically on the fishing show and how we got to bring a bunch of baits down and hang baits and set up grid wall and stuff like that. This is a totally different monster.
Oh, yeah.
How many square feet do you guys set up? So Kevin, you're in charge of almost all show.
Yeah. Our booth space down there is about 18,000 square feet. We'll have close to 100 boats for the Nova.
And that's 100 boats, and that'll be span over all your brands, and then obviously the Yamaha jet skis as well.
Yep. Yeah, our booth at Suburban goes from the very front all the way to the back.
And it's moving in docks, it's moving in boats, and I mean a boat show's got to be even more of a cluster because everybody's moving in boats. At like an outdoor show, at least you have guys like me that are just bringing in things on hand carts. But these boat shows, I mean, and obviously service takes care of most of the hauling in, hauling out. But I mean, still, it's some long days out here on the dock, and to set up all the docks, so 100 boats. And now, do you notice like major savings coming into show season? Is it mostly on non-currents? Are there incentives to buy new? What do you guys kind of see, from your side of things as far as sales go?
Yeah, I mean, we'll get incentives and whatnot for the shows from the manufacturer. Yeah, I mean, we as a dealer run specials for the show.
Mm-hmm.
To give people that incentive to buy the show.
Yeah.
You're going to get a better deal. Your spring shows are when you're going to get your best deal. Currently, we do have some non-currents still left that are great prices on those. But
especially your fishing boats.
Especially the fishing boats. But even the 2025 product we've got, we're there to sell and make deals there for those.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of different incentives from extended warranties to rebates to recovers, things like that you can get on a lot of the different boats.
And I think you can help me speak to this, but I think that's another thing about boat shows that a lot of people don't realize, but sometimes the pricing is what it is. And as far as a dealer goes, this is something I've definitely learned being not only in here, but in the bait and tackle business, you can only do so much. Like the boat's the boat, right? So when the manufacturers and the factories help out, that's big. But another thing that's really big that we can take advantage of as buyers. I mean, I took advantage of it when I got my boat. But you can take advantage of special financing, extended motor warranties, stuff that would cost you hundreds of dollars in the long run, thousands sometimes with the financing.
Yeah.
Is that like financing and stuff that helps out major?
Yeah, and we've got some special rate banks right now. Trying to help create some business for them during this time of year. Because a lot of their recreational divisions are slow because they're offering us some better rates. We've got some great banks. On top of being able to have the extended warranties, the rebates. There's a lot of incentives, a lot of reasons to come out by that.
Yeah. And so I follow all the fishing brands. So we've got G3 on my social medias. I've got Skeeter. I've been noticing Skeeter is offering some really good incentives and some programs that are going on where you can save a chunk of money. So if you guys see that stuff on social media, you need to reach out to your dealers because not only can, like you said, the free covers, you don't think about that, but a cover is $300, $400, $500, depending on what kind of, or more. Am I off?
$1,000 cover.
Really? I believe it. I believe it.
The cover for this 2060, I want to say is about $50.
And it's a super nice cover. You can trailer with it. It's got the ratchets in there. Yeah. Yeah, and Skeeter does a good job because they covers, boat, trailer, it's there at the factory. You know what I mean? So it comes as a whole package. They're not hiring out their trailer company, and they're not just picking up the cheapest stuff that they can necessarily find because they know it's going to come back and bite them. You know what I mean?
No, they want good quality
together. Can't swap out electronics to whatever because it's for
right. Yeah, I mean certain things are going to be set the way they are, but there's a little room to move. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And as far as fishing boats go, we talked a little bit about that, but you can definitely save some money right now. You guys got your hands on some boats that you're able to price way down. Are there still any Skeeters left? I know that there's some G3s available. And G3s, I'll tell you what, I've been super impressed with the build and how the G3 is actually constructed as far as an aluminum boat goes. For guys in our area, like down there on St. Clair and the Great Lakes, I mean, we snuck out in the boat. Well, by the time this podcast comes out, it'll be last week. We had ice flows coming down, and we snuck out in the boat, and I didn't put the Skeeter out there because I'm worried if I ding ice with that thing, I don't want to be chipping the gel coat on it. But these G3s are double hauled, they're double riveted. I mean, they're durable. Yeah, they're beasts. So like, have you guys seen with the normal winter that we've had? Has it been busy with fishing boats, or have you seen it slow down a little bit?
I mean, it's been a great year all the way around. I know some of that's been driven with some, like you said, some of the deal boats we got a hold of, which we still do have a few left in the Skeeters and the G3s. So we were retailing some of these boats at pre-pandemic price.
Yeah.
So, and there's still a handful left that are still a pretty good value. And so that kind of skews the numbers a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think overall, I think it's just the buying of the consumer as a whole is definitely in a better mood than they have been. We're seeing definitely an uptick in overall purchasing as a whole for the.
Yeah, because I mean the fishing show, the ultimate fishing show in Novi, that you guys crushed at that one. I mean, I came up to the booth and it was sold. There were yellow signs on all the boats. Do you guys still have jets in stock?
Yeah, we still got a handful.
So for you river guys, you guys that are fishing jets, I'm telling you guys, they have the best pricing on those jets right now. I mean, you talk about pre-pandemic pricing. The Skeeters are in a really good spot right now. I mean, you could come in here and get a Skeeter for the price that you're paying for an aluminum boat, which we talked about it. We were joking around before we started. As much as I love my aluminum boat, nothing is going to ride like a glass boat. Nothing. So if you guys are interested, like I said, they're going to be at the Novi Boat Show. We're not going to go, way into that kind of stuff, but all these models are going to be available, especially if you're looking for a fishing boat. If you got any questions, we're obviously at the store. But it's something to look into because I don't know if these savings will be the prices next year won't be the prices this year. We'll just put it that way.
No, absolutely. No, and for anyone that doesn't want to go to the craziness of the boat show, we're offering boat show pricing in the store during boat show season.
In this beautiful new showroom.
Yeah. So whether you're near the Howell, the Waterford, or the Piggy store, any one of those guys take care of it.
Come in here and ask for Dallas. I'm just kidding. Their whole sales team. No, that's been a really fun part about working with you guys. Is it feels like I've been welcomed in. Like the whole sales team is pretty friendly, and I think like whether it's sales, regardless, whether you're doing what I do, whether you're doing boat sales, whether you're doing car sales, there's always like, oh, you got to keep an eye. And I'm like, this is a totally different game because it's not. You have to have a car. You don't have to have a boat. People that are coming to buy a boat want to have fun, and it's like we get the opportunity. Even when I'm at the shows, like I don't know shit about selling these things. Yeah, man. You're like when your dad says that, like in the meetings, he's like, "We're selling fun." He's like, "Don't make it harder than it needs to be." You're someone gets to buy a boat, and I think that everybody should have a boat with the proper knowledge and experience. Let me just say that first. I don't think everybody should just be winging around boats, but they are. But I think spending time out on the water and getting away from land. I always say when I go out on the boat, none of the real life stuff follows me on the water. Whether you're fishing or boating or floating, none of that real life stuff follows you on the water. So you get to go out. I've got the new baby now, so I'm super excited to get him involved in that lifestyle. You've got one on the way. Congratulations. So he's going to be diving into that lifestyle. Congratulations. I didn't know that. And you've got a couple.
Got 3.
And they're living that lifestyle. Oh, speak of the devil. There he is. Yeah. Yeah. You shared something hilarious on social media. You're like, how am I supposed to tell my kid it's a bad idea to skip a day of school to go out on the boat? So, yeah, exactly.
I remember my dad saying no.
Yeah, I know.
How did he do that?
And now look what you're doing. I want to dive a little bit into the Skeeter boats because I ride them. I've been extremely happy with this boat. I've been fortunate enough to be in a lot of glass boats, and I think a lot of glass boats are really nice. But I think for the price and the way that you guys rig out your Skeeters, I think they're one of the best options available. I really like the Yamaha motors. It seems like it's getting harder and harder to find Yamahas on fishing boats. And as far as the Skeeters go, I'm going to let you dive a little bit more into this because you kind of know the ins and outs of it. But as far as the Skeeters go, guys, you've got bass boats, you've got your family and fishing boats in your Solera series, and then you've got obviously the new WXRs, which are just fishing machines at 19, 20 and a half, and 22 foot. What are the options of Skeeters that are available? And as far as like if you were a walleye guy, I would say the 2060 is the way to go. If someone wants to save a little bit of money, the 19 footers are a good option. But how have you viewed the Skeeters? I mean, you've been in quite a few now at this point.
Yeah. I mean, the 19's a great boat for a guy that doesn't want to spend $100,000 for a boat. Get into a good quality 19 footer with a 200 on it. We got the WXR 2060 last year. We're now
Good
the
boat.
boat's rated 300, so guys have been really excited about that. So this year in January they released the WXR 2260.
Mhm.
And that boat NAP on that is basically $112,000 without a kicker. But we do still have some 2025 model year WX 2200.
Yeah.
They're no longer building, and we're retailing those right now for about $90,000.
What?
So once those boats are gone, those boats are gone. I'm never building that boat again. So
I'm gonna have to try and make some sales here.
yeah, I mean
They're at 90 grand.
Yeah, we've got them for show price with the rebate at $89,999.
So, and I always said like this boat for the price because like when I was shopping around, I looked at a lot of different boats and when you get into that 20-foot class, that 20 to 20 and a half foot class, you're rated around 110, 120. So even though the WXRs jumped in price, they're still at a very competitive price point. I mean, you're looking at some of these boats, dude, that are in that 22, 23 foot range. They're 130, 140, 160 grand by the time you rig them out. And I know you said without a kicker, but the way that these boats come, I mean, obviously you're going to want to add the kicker to that if you're a big troller. To be honest with you, I maybe have like 5 hours on my kicker, but it's also another motor.
Right. Well, we tell most guys if you're salmon fishing, you need the kicker.
Yes.
If you're trolling for muskie, you need the kicker.
Yes.
The average guy doesn't need a kicker to fish.
Well, and I do a lot of river fishing, but like I did notice myself in the lake this year, especially when you get into like rougher waters and the trolling motor's popping out of the water, the kicker is a really, really good option to have. Yeah. And then again, God forbid anything does happen to your big motor, you have the kicker there to kind of bail you. Yeah, man, you can kind of bail yourself out because the last thing you want is to be stuck floating. And I plan to do a little bit more trolling this year, but I do think if you are a troller, the kicker is definitely a nice option, but minus the kicker. The boats come with trim tabs. They come with these 60-inch tracks here. They come with the Fusion stereos. They come with the fish finder. They come with the that one's the Altera there. So the way that Kevin orders, because you're the one that does a lot of the ordering, I'm assuming. Yep. So the way that they order these boats, they're ready to fish. There's not a lot that needs to go into it, and I'm gonna get you fishing more this year. That's my goal. I know I'm not close to you, but that's my goal. Okay, I'll go. I'll do it.
You could drink bourbon and
yeah,
and then watch Pete reel in all the
fish. You can just sit right there, and I'll just hand you the rod. That's the other thing that I really like about these Skeeters is how much space. I mean, there's 3 of us sitting back here in a 2060, and this is only half. Like we're all sitting on half the boat. But the fact that it gets rid of these lockers here in these pods, I guess is what some places call them. But the fact that it doesn't have that and they actually utilize the gunnels themselves for the storage, has been super nice. Now I'm going to get off the fishing boats a little bit. Do you guys sell a lot of jet skis? Are jet skis big around here?
Oh yeah, we do hundreds.
Yeah, on Lake St. Clair, I can't believe how many we see, and especially on the lake, like in the cuts and stuff. Sometimes it gets a little sketchy. Super cool to ride your jet skis through them. Don't get me wrong. You kind of got to go slow and know what you're doing. There's no reason to be, burning 80 miles an hour through a cut. But I've noticed a ton more jet ski. And I know there's some fishermen that are listening to this right now that are probably cussing me out. Oh, God, they hate them. If they could throw a sinker at their heads, they absolutely would. But yeah, I figured.
The problem's not the jet skis. The problem is the users. I've had wave runners my whole life, and I don't go bother fishing.
Yeah.
But there are people that they think that that they have to show you how cool they look on their wave runner 100 yards away.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah.
Or even closer sometimes.
And meanwhile, I'm trying to show him how cool I am, trying to set the hook on a fish that's absolutely terrified of the wave runner running over its head. But the reason I wanted to bring up the wave runners is because you've got the Yamaha wave runners, you've got the Yamaha jet boats. Obviously, all these pontoons come with Yamahas. Skeeters are owned by Yamaha. They come with Yamahas. And your G3s come with Yamahas. They're owned by Yamaha. See, look at Yamaha just going. The biggest reason I bring it up, and a major reason that I really liked working with you guys is for your service center. Talk a little bit about how important it is to have a company or a dealership that has the service center that you guys have. You guys have your own gel coat room. You've got, 16 bays in your service center. You're one of the largest Yamaha dealers in the country, world. I see all the plaques over there. But explain to people how important a service center is as far as, that stuff kind of goes.
If you go down, you got to get it back out on the water.
We've got, there's one up north, but yeah, we've got, and there's not a lot. But yeah, we do have one of the few master Yamaha that there are. It is the only one in Metro.
And who would that be? Paul.
So, but,
shout out Paul.
The other part of that too is not only do we have a master tech, so if there's something, but what'll happen is there'll be dealers that can't figure stuff out with motors or boats, whatever it is. Yamaha sends that customer out.
Okay.
Figure it out. So our customers don't have to get somewhere. We figure it out. But not only do we have the master tech, but every single one of our tech factory trained. And that's not necessarily something that all dealers in boats buy. So, you want to know when you're bringing your boat in to have it worked on, the guy working on it knows what he's doing. And so all of our technicians are factory. We have 26,000 square foot.
Yeah, we're excited about this new building, but it's still not there.
No.
Yeah. That's been there for 20 years.
That was one of the coolest things to me when we came in to chat about, working together and doing that, is you guys were like, first things first, let me show you the service center. Because as far as like it goes for me as a guide and someone that spends a lot of time on the water, whether I'm doing a tournament or whether I'm guiding, if something goes wrong, and I mean, you guys are an hour 20 from me, so it's not like it's close, but I know it's going to get done. I had to get service done this fall, and I brought the boat. It just maintenance service, nothing major. But I brought the boat in this fall, and they're like, all right, give us 4 to 5 days. I literally got a call the next day. They're like, hey, boat's done. Holy shit. He's like, come get it out of the lot. I'm like, well, I wasn't expecting to come get it till next week. I'll be right there. But that sort of stuff is super important, and you don't really think about it, but then when something does go wrong, because nothing's perfect. I can absolutely say that. I mean, these factories, whether it's Skeeter, whether it's Avalon, whether it's Yamaha, whether it's Ranger, whether it's, I'm not going to go and start hitting all these brands, but nothing's perfect. They're cranking out boats. Stuff's going to happen. The only way to find out what's going to happen is by using the boat. You know what I mean? I tell people all the time, if nothing wrong has happened to your boat, then you're probably not using it enough. Because it's just going to happen. You know what I mean? And to get it taken care of and to get it fixed is a major positive.
We all do dumb stuff.
Yeah. And some stuff's out of our control. Yeah. It's your friend's dumb stuff.
Yeah. Had that.
Yeah, no doubt. So hey, let's touch on these G3 boats just a little bit. They're aluminum boat. Where I'm at, where my guys are at, especially down on St. Clair, we use a lot of aluminum boats, especially these river guys. What kind of sets a G3 apart from X other boat?
Well, I mean, number one, it's a Yamaha company. If you know anything about Yamaha, you know that they're making sure that they're building it right. And
yeah.
It's going to last. They are honestly overbuilt.
Yes.
Full length keels that nobody else puts on a small fishing boat. We double up the bow stop, so if you hit your trailer too hard, you don't crack your keel on the front of the boat. You were talking about double riveting. We have 24 rivets in a 12-inch space where everybody else has 12.
Yep.
Yes, a lifetime warranty is a lifetime warranty, but I don't want to use my lifetime. One boat I buy to last. So, there's only a couple of boats out there that even come close to the construction of what the G3 is. And from a pricing standpoint, they're kind of middle of the pack. Not even that expensive 100%. Compared to what you can pay for some of these other higher end boats that are out there. So it's just a great package. It's a Yamaha company, so they're going to stand behind their product if you have a problem. And they're really set up well.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's what I thought when I was talking with Dave, the rep last year. We were talking about it a little bit, and he was explaining it all to me, and I was like, it's a little overbuilt. Because, I mean, they sell everything. Like, just like any other aluminum boat company, they sell everything. Everything from a 12-foot John boat to a 21-foot deep V, you know what I mean, that can really handle itself in the element. And that was something that, I was, as I jumped into a Skeeter, I realized that not a lot of my, not a lot of my customers might want to jump into a fiberglass boat, which I totally understand. If you're not fishing as much as I am, or you're not fishing, it's for someone that sits just in the river, then I would say you could say it's a little much. I mean, I wouldn't after being in it. I thought for sure when I bought it, I was like, I don't need it, but I'd like it. You know what I mean? It was one of those like spoil yourself things. And then once I started riding in it, I was like, oh yeah, this is the move. I mean, I got enough room right back here for a pack and play for the little guy. You know what I mean? And it's stable enough to do it. I mean, I was taking this boat. It was nothing for me to leave my dock and take this boat 25 miles and just go right into Lake St. Clair. It wasn't even a question like, hey, should I trailer it to here so I can get out of it? It's just very nice how these fiberglass boat rides. So I would push anyone towards a Skeeter if they asked me. But the option of those G3s is really nice to have, to just know that you have durability in like a super stable boat. I guess would be the biggest thing, right? Excuse me. So what else is coming up for you guys this year? We got the Novi Boat Show.
We've got an open house coming the 29th of this month. Basically celebrating a grand opening for the new building here.
Yes.
We're gonna celebrate that at all 3 locations. But sort of at the end of the month, we'll still have some great incentives and offers for people that maybe they didn't quite pull the trigger at the show, but they'll get that done. And then we've got another open house, which is our annual open house at the end of April.
Okay, so you've got celebrating the new building on March 29th is coming up, where we're gonna kind of show this place off, which I am in awe, because the building that I bought a boat from was quite a bit smaller, and I had no idea how you even pack the boats in there. And then, yeah. Well, then we came in here. Well, we came in here for the Skeeter training, and there was one Skeeter in the whole building, and it was right there by the garage door. And I'm looking around, I'm like, gee, this place is huge. And then I came in today when it's full of boats, and I'm like, oh, they could probably use another 12,000 square feet. I don't want to give Paul a heart attack though.
No, I mean it fills up, but again, there's 30 boats in, so being able to put that, and to have 12 to 14 pontoons, so when that pontoon customer comes in, they can look at a good variety of boats in that dock setup, boat show style.
You almost have, yeah. And it's like, yeah, and it's not fair to like one. Here's the thing too, is like the salesmen make money selling boats. So like it's hard on a salesman to be like, hey, we've got all these different style boats. You've got how many pontoons you saying here? I can't do quick math. How many are 14? Not a single one. I'm looking down the road. Not a single one of them is the same boat. And there's how many that are still around. So it's like it's hard to like get an idea. No. So you've got the open house coming up on the 29th. That's going to be a really cool event. And then what's the annual one you guys do every year out here?
Yeah,
I'm assuming
that's I don't know the exact date. It's the last weekend in April. Just kind of an annual open house we've been doing for years. Just the weather's getting nice, bring people in. Give people one last opportunity to get a boat picked out before we get into May and get into the holiday.
Yeah,
everybody wants their boat before Memorial Day, so
fair.
The month of May is pretty busy, so try to get your boat and get it delivered before May. It's a recommendation we give everybody.
I tell them the same thing. Like when it comes to fishing, I'm like, guys, get your stuff situated and get your stuff in line before the season's here, because once the season's here, everybody wants stuff yesterday, and I totally understand that because it's go time. Yes, 100. And I was kind of gonna ask that. So like, we snuck out on the boat last week. We've had some other guys sneaking out on the boat. Obviously, like with fishermen, they'll sneak out to Lake Erie when they can, or they'll sneak out on the river when they can. When does is boating season really start around Memorial Day? You notice, or I guess when it can go.
That's kind of that's kind of what everybody's shooting for. It really depends on weather too. And I always tell people talking to customers that I either sold or these guys selling that I talk to. When should we take our boat? Well, you're better to have your boat sitting there and it be cold and not be used than to have an 85-degree day and that boat sitting out back shrinking.
Right.
So, get that boat, get it in the water. Pontoons, even if it goes below freezing, you got nothing to worry about. Those engines drain out. There's no water trap. And obviously, if a customer has an inboard outboard, those are a little bit situation or e-boat. Pretty much all the product we sell, you can use year round if you really want. jet boats right now. You know,
100%. I mean, they're using the jet boats right now over on some of those rivers over there, and on the Grand River there in Grand Rapids. That never really freezes,
Yep.
so they're using those. And a lot of our fishing guys, I mean, they're very used to those outboards. They're used to using them late in December, especially the last few years we've had, man. Like I was telling a customer, up until January, we fished almost 36 months straight, basically 3 years straight. Like we didn't have to take any time off because you could always sneak out in the river. You come out, you drain your motor, you give it a little, spray that, let it drain, you're good to go.
Yeah.
I mean, it's different if you're storing it outside and whatnot. Like everybody's situation's different, but like you said, they're going to drain themselves. They're going to be fine. So definitely be ready to go. And it seems like the boating season's getting later and later, right? Like we've had really nice falls. Guys are maybe keeping their boats into September, trying to stretch it to October.
Oh yeah.
And then you guys probably get slammed again with everybody waiting to do.
Yeah, the end of October is usually pretty
Like-
busy of people pulling last minute stuff.
Like those idiots that are trying to get their oil changed and get their maintenance done.
Yeah. Yep.
Kev goes, get it in by October. I go, okay. Text him in the middle of November. Hey, I don't know where October went, but I need my boat maintenance. And that's when it got done in a day.
Yeah.
So I can't complain. Other than that, is the Novi Boat Show going to be the last show,
Yes.
basically?
Yep.
So you're still going to have really good incentives coming up. We've got one more boat show if you really want to see the full spread. You said 100 boats in Novi?
Pretty close, yeah.
Yeah, close to it. So you'll have 100 boats to choose from in Novi. Come down here for the open house if you've got nothing to do. Head to Moe's Bar. That's where we're going after this. Because a baby's not enough. You decided to buy a bar.
Exactly.
God bless. I complained to these guys about. Mine was a little bit different of a scenario, but I tell them all the time. I'm like, I used to be in the restaurant business. They're sick of hearing it. But you just dove head first in. So,
My wife's slanging cheeseburgers and beers, and I'm slanging boats.
yeah, hey, it's not a bad thing. It's not until it's a Saturday night and you're like, what am I doing pouring all these fucking drinks?
Yep.
Is there anything else that I missed, you guys? Is there anything else that you want to touch on as far as inventory goes? As far as, is there any advice that you want to give somebody that's maybe looking to upgrade boats?
Oh, you Cedar guys, I got a smoking deal on a leftover 2023 Cedar Solera 205. It's a pretty crazy price on it, so hit us up on that.
In the Solaris, so let me just dive into that. That's, before we get out of here. Guys, the Solaris is like, I say it's the perfect boat for the guy that's not going to be fishing all year that wants to spend time with his family. It's catered a little bit more to the family. The seating's a little bit nicer. It's going to come with bow cushions up front, where like the WX series, WXRs now, don't come with it. So Bimini top.
Yep.
Is that what you're going to say?
Yep.
What else am I missing? I know I'm missing something, Kev.
It's got the stereo in it.
Still got the same great motor.
Ski tow bar, which I ordered these with the ski tow bar as well.
Right.
Got a 250 show on it. That particular boat that AJ's talking about, it's got the trolling motor, it's got a kicker, it's got electronics. I mean, it is loaded and ready to go, and we're trying to retail that boat for about $70,000. So that's
It's 20 and a half,
20-foot boat that
20 footer.
fiberglass, and there's guys are selling used ones for more than that. Brand new boat.
I'm going to be selling a used one for more than that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, check that out for sure. I mean, that's incredible. The Solaris, I always get the guys that come in. I mean, there's not many people that fish like we do, I guess I should say. Like, there's not many people that, like, every time we go out, and I know it drives my wife crazy at times, but there's not many times when we go out and it's just like a family day. And if we do, it's in the pontoon. But, like, typically if I jump in the fishing boat, we're fishing. But I'm just lucky because the pontoon's already there. But not a lot of people want to have two boats. Not many people, yeah. So it's like, get a boat that's going to fit you and your family. It's way easier to convince your wife about. Way easier. So you can convince your wife to get it. You've got the trolling motor. This one has a kicker?
Got a kicker.
Huh. I don't know if I've seen a kicker on one at the show.
I've never ordered one before. This one's one we got from another dealer. So I've got a discount on it. We're passing that on to the consumer.
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, turns is key. So definitely think about that, guys. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I forgot. Hey, is Allie over there? Allie, are you over there? Can I see the baby? We're going to bring on a special guest real quick before we get out of here.
He's talking, right?
No. He just screams like a pterodactyl. But But yeah, it was super cool, man. I know it's not necessarily a close drive for me, but this is a podcast I was looking forward to. Getting in the new showroom, sitting in a Skeeter. Hang on. After I've been drinking rum.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Future fisherman.
You gotta look right there at the camera. So this here is the stud. This is Mr. Ange. For you guys that come in the bait shop, he'll be in there scooping minnows, zipping around. You see Mr. Kev?
I'm pretty awesome.
So if you see this guy hanging out in the shop, he'll be there with us. But guys, I appreciate you staying here a little later with us. What time is the showroom open till? I appreciate you sticking around a little later. We're gonna get out of here. We're gonna head to the new bar, try out some food and maybe a couple drinks. But guys, yeah, if you've got any question, I mean, obviously you can get a hold of me in the store. I've got these guys' number. If you decide that you really want to deal with Dallas, I got his number too. But what's that?
Dallas is the guy.
I'm telling you. But yeah, so if you're interested, let us know. Obviously, we've got the Skeeter there. We always tell people that they're free to jump on my boat and test it before they come down here. It is always hard to pull the trigger on something like that if you haven't been in it, right? But you guys,
Pete will take you for a ride.
yeah, you guys need to come out. We need to go fishing. Other than that, is there anything I missed?
We're good, man. Appreciate it.
Anything I missed? Guys, I obviously got to end the show like I always do. I want to thank everyone that makes this possible. Obviously, thank you to the guys at Whitewater Fish, Great Lakes Anglers Co., Cortland Line, and obviously our friends at Pilar Rum. You hold that bottle up? I can't do that with the baby, right?
Laws against it, I think.
Yeah, and Kev can't hold the bottle either because he's in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
So, guys, thank you to everyone that makes that possible. Obviously, the discount codes are right there on the screen for you. Take advantage, especially the guys over at Whitewater. They've been awesome with us. 25% off code. What do you got? All right. Obviously, you can save 25%, and I'm pretty sure you can stack that on their deals that are going on. They've got deals going on right now on their ice fishing stuff. Can't thank you guys enough again for the support. We're going to be in the shop, really getting ready to get things going this spring. We're going to be fishing a lot. We're going to be hopefully getting a lot more of these podcasts and information out. Stay tuned to our YouTube as well, guys, because we're going to start doing a lot more content on there, whether it's, short videos. He's slobbering. We're going to start doing, he's pumped about it. We're going to start doing a lot more content, guys, whether it's, quick videos in the shop about new products or how to use products. And then once we get on the water, I know I've been saying that since last fall, but the weather's the weather. Okay. All right. Ange is out of here. We're out of here. We'll see you next week on the Hook One Pod. Adios.